Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and compare the Google Pixel 6a against the Google Pixel 6 and see which specific one you should go and buy. Now, I will definitely tell you the Pixel 6 is the better one in every single area, and I just realized I have the same exact wallpaper on both as well, so that's going to be kind of confusing. But now I will tell you, if you want to pick up either one of these things, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now Google actually sent me out the Pixel 6a, which is right here, but I did buy the Pixel 6. They did not send me out this one. They sent me out the Pixel 6 Pro, but not this one, which is very weird. Now, side by side, I will definitely tell you there are a lot of similarities, but there's also some differences. But these phones are just so similar that I'm just surprised why Google is selling these both side by side. I feel like the Pixel 6 is going to be discontinued very soon, but they're just so similar in so many different ways that it just confuses me why Google even made the Pixel 6a so soon compared to the Pixel 6, the standard one. Now, on the front, the Pixel 6 had a little bit of it's a bigger phone overall. You are getting a 6.4-inch OLED display on this specific device. It's actually an AMOLED display, and it is a 1080p screen. Overall, I think it is a pretty good panel overall, and you are getting a 90 Hz panel on this device. That is a really big thing to say because the 60 Hz on the Pixel 6a is a little bit, different than the Pixel 6 screen. Although they look the same if you're not touching them, overall, actually using these phones and kind of moving around in that direction, you are getting a better looking display on the Pixel 6. You're also getting a whole bunch display there too, which is really, really nice. Same thing basically on the Pixel 6a. You are getting a little bit of a smaller 6.1-inch OLED panel. Now this one is also 1080p like I mentioned, and overall it's a pretty good panel for a $449 price tag here versus a little bit more expensive, about I think $150 more on the Pixel 6. You are getting almost the same display. It's just missing that 90 Hz panel. Other than that, I'm literally looking at them side by side. They're pretty much almost identically the same panel. This one's AMOLED 90 Hz, this one's OLED 60 Hz, but almost the same thing. Now, in terms of thinness and thickness, like I mentioned, it's crazy how similar these things are. You can see right here, the Pixel 6a is a little bit smaller. It comes in just a smaller body. Thinness and thickness is almost about the same too, so there really isn't that big of a difference there. But you can kind of see the camera module is a little bit bigger on the Pixel 6, but basically the build quality is almost identical between both. On the back as well, a little bit of the same exact setup. Now both these phones have dual camera setups, but you can kind of see if I get into the light that the Pixel 6 actually has a little bit of a bigger sensor. Actually, the Pixel 6a's camera is also pretty big too, but both are very good sensors for their price tag, I would say, but the Pixel 6a is a little bit better. I will say the color on the white one of the Pixel 6 is a little bit whiter than this one on the Pixel 6. I think this was supposed to be white, but I guess this is also the mint color, so not really too sure what's going on there. Now, another big thing I want to note is that both these phones are a little bit different. The Pixel 6a has IP67 certification, IP certification. The Pixel 6 has IP68 IP certification. But another big thing is the Pixel 6 has wireless charging. The Pixel 6a does not have wireless charging. It's really not a big deal to me because I don't really use wireless charging at all anymore. But if that matters to you, then go for the Pixel 6. But honestly, I probably wouldn't recommend wireless charging your phone anyway. But regardless, it's kind of a personal statement. On the side here, not too much of a difference either. Just power buttons almost in the exact same spot. And the power button, the volume buttons, and everything like that. So, in terms of the outside, that kind of covers it up. Both these phones are pretty much almost identical. Now, a very interesting thing Google did, which I didn't really expect them to do, but also following their other phones, they kind of did this too, is that they put the same exact chipsets in both these devices. So with the Pixel 6a and the Pixel 6, both these phones had the Google Tensor chipset inside. So because of that, I kind of think that these phones are going to be lasting the same amount of time. Maybe the Pixel 6a will last 1 year less. I don't really know what they're going to do. But if Google follows what they kind of did with the previous versions of phones, most probably these two devices, the 6a and the Pixel 6, are probably going to be lasting the same exact amount of time. So if you want to pick up one or the other, then go for it. But software-wise, they're going to be giving you not only the same exact experience for the most part, but also pretty much the same exact software update longevity as well. The same day the 6a gets an update, it's the same day the 6 gets an update. Now let's do some fun stuff. Let's go ahead and do a speed comparison between both of these devices. Now the Pixel 6a has the Google Tensor chipset. What's crazy is the Google Pixel 6 also has a Google Tensor chipset inside. But there's a little bit of a difference when it comes down to the actual chipset size between both, or at least with the RAM. The Pixel 6 has 6 gigabytes of RAM, where the Pixel 6a has 6 gigabytes of RAM. So this one has 8, this one has 6, I think I said 6 between both. The Pixel 6 has 2 more gigabytes of RAM on top of the Pixel 6a. So let's get and see which one is the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, and it's so crazy to me to see how similar both these phones are. But the 6a is on the right, the Pixel 6 is on the left. So the 6 is here, the 6a is here. So let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. I think the Pixel 6 was a little bit faster there. Messages, 3, 2, 1. Almost the same thing too, not that big of a difference. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Actually, I think the Pixel 6a was a little bit faster there. Let's take a photo. It's going to open up photos right there. A little bit of a faster experience there, but kind of the same thing too. It's going to Play Store, 3, 2, 1. I think it was slightly faster. It's going to Photos, 3, 2, 1. I think Pixel 6 was definitely faster there too. Settings, which I don't even have here. But as always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and test out. Let's go and do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And it is looking like the Pixel 6 is slightly faster here, just by a little bit though. Not really a crazy big difference, which honestly, we shouldn't even really be seeing too many differences because they have the same exact chipset inside. Hopping out of this one, let's go and do Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. As you can see, pretty much the same exact thing. Stack, which I do not have here. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. You can see, I think the Pixel 6a was actually quite a bit faster there. Very surprising to me. On Dropbox, which I do not have. I don't know why I have all these apps on this phone. That's very, very strange. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I was not looking, so let's go and hop out of this one. Thank You, which I do not have here. Twitter, 3, 2, 1, which I think I already did. No, I did not. Okay, a few different panels on both. I think the 6a was faster to load up this panel, though, on the bottom. So let's go and hop out of here. Let's go ahead and do something like Facebook, which I do not have. Let's do Instagram, 3, 2, 1. Okay, kind of the same thing too. We have a bunch of these third-party apps in here too, or first-party apps. Let's go and do Google Drive, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the 6a was slightly faster there. Let's go and get into another one. I want to try the settings application. I don't know why. 3, 2, 1. I think the Pixel 6 was slightly faster there too. Let's go and get into something else like Contacts, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think I already did this one, and the Pixel 6a was faster originally. Let's go ahead and try something else. Let's go and try Calculator, 3, 2, 1. Almost the same thing too. Let's go and click 2 repeatedly. And I do think when it comes down to it, I kind of think that the Pixel 6a surprised me a little bit more than the Pixel 6. I already knew the Pixel 6 was going to be fast, but this kind of made my theory a little bit better. I just compared the Pixel 6a against the 5a, and I was noticing that the 5a was kind of faster sometimes than the Pixel 6a, and I thought Google didn't make too many improvements with the Google Tensor chipset, and this kind of solidified that because both these phones are almost identically the same. RAM management should theoretically be better on the Pixel 6 because it has more RAM, but when it comes down to the actual speed and performance, I think on a day-to-day basis, both these phones are like almost identical, and I don't really think there's going to be that crazy big of a difference when it comes down to the speed difference of both of these phones. So in terms of that, that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and kind of hit on the cameras, and like I mentioned before, between both these phones, almost identically the same type of setup on the background. So we have a dual camera setup, which I mentioned before is totally fine, and they're almost identically the same type of lens as well, which is even kind of funnier. So you have dual camera setups, a wide and an ultra wide sensor. Both can do 4K 60 on the front, and both can only do 1080p on the front. So keep that in mind. We're also getting a 50 megapixel wide angle lens on the Pixel 6, and we're also getting a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor on the Pixel 6, where the Pixel 6a with a 12.2 megapixel wide and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now, one thing I will tell you about the Pixel 6a camera is that for its price tag, it is kind of better than you would think. I think Google had to make a little bit of an upgrade from its previous device, and I do think with the Pixel 6a, Google did a pretty good job. Is it perfect? I don't really think so. You know, I think they could have done a little bit better with the front camera of both of these phones, but from everything that I've tested from this phone, more so with the Pixel 6 that I've tested for several months now, I didn't really notice the Pixel cameras to be like crazy out of the world this year. I found that to be pretty good. I feel like the Pixel 5 did a good job for its price tag, but you have to remember, this is a $449 phone, and the Pixel 6 was like a $599 phone that's gone down significantly in the used market as well. So for this phone, whether you're taking videos and everything, it's going to be fine. The quality is going to be good, but the UI in the camera is just so glitchy. I still don't understand why this phone has these many issues with its camera. Even within Snapchat, within so many other things, it's kind of the same story. With the Pixel 6, like I mentioned before, pretty much the same exact story. You're going to be getting a better camera setup on this specific phone. But is it a crazy big deal? Is it a huge difference? I don't know. I don't know if I would call it a big difference, but you are seeing some noticeable changes. One thing I've always seen is that with phones like this, especially with the Pixel 6, you are getting a brighter overall photo without having to edit anything or anything like that. I also think that the quality of these lenses are better. You know, that is for sure a fact, and that is one thing I've always liked about Pixel cameras. They're very solid, they have a lot of capability. Are they perfect? Absolutely not, but you are getting a decent lens. I just wish the zooming in and out was a little bit smoother than how it is now. So that kind of covers it up how I think about the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6a. I will also add one last thing for the battery life and the battery size. The Pixel 6 still has a bigger battery size inside of it. You're getting a 4,614 mAh battery on the Pixel 6, where the Pixel 6a has a little bit smaller 4,410 mAh battery. So just a little bit smaller, but it's not even that big of a deal. So which one should you buy? Should you buy a Pixel 6a or a Pixel 6? This is a no-brainer. I would recommend buying the Pixel 6. It is still the overall phone. But if the Pixel 6 was a 10 out of 10, I personally think that the Pixel 6a would probably be like a 9.3 or 9.2 out of 10. This is so similar, like it's not even funny. The only things you're missing on this phone are wireless charging, which I don't really care about, a little bit of a smaller display, which I don't really care about, the 90 hertz, which I really do think matters, which it makes it go down like 0.5, so now we're at like 9.5. It also is pretty much missing a little bit of a smaller battery, that's like 0.1, and maybe some other things here and there, like 2 gigabytes of RAM, is not even that big of a deal. So I will say this phone is like a 9 out of 10 or a 9.2 out of 10. It is very, very close to the Pixel 6. But this one's still the better phone. It's not really a competition. Like if you have the opportunity of buying either one, then go for the Pixel 6. But I don't know. I feel like the Pixel 7 maybe it's worth it, probably the bigger deal here, and probably would recommend saving your money and buying that phone instead of these two. But these two phones are great. You can't really make a wrong decision here. You're saving money with this phone, but you're getting a little bit of a better phone with this one. So that's kind of how I would sum it up, to be honest. If you have any other thoughts or questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.